Alright, we're going to go over some of the homeworks that was submitted for the hockey rink. This is the extra credit work. What I've done is I've got a number of these different drawings opened up. As you can see at the top, there's a number of different tabs, and if I just hover over them, you can see what the different drawings are. When you have these tabs available to you, you can actually select it and hold it down, and you can actually drag it and reposition it and move it around the top here if you choose to. Sometimes it's nice to have all your drawings in a certain order, but if you click on these, you can easily cycle through the different drawings. This one here and this one here are actually the same drawing. I just opened up two versions, that's why there's a 1 and a 2, so I'm just going to hit this X to close that one and say no. So just going to go over some of the items I see here and just kind of educate different people on some of the items here. This particular person has this grid shown in the background. A lot of people like working with grids. Different applications I like it, sometimes I don't. If you want to turn it on and off, you just hit F7. Hit F7 again, comes back on. I'm going to turn it off right now just to get it out of my way. This drawing set up real nice. A lot of good things going on here. If you want me to get super critical, you got a couple of dimensions touching here, you got your line kind of showing through here. So I'm going to hit Control 1 to open up my properties toolbar on the side here. I'm just going to pick this radius dimension right here, and a whole bunch of different values pop up here in the properties box. Underneath text is something that says fill color, and next to it says none. I'm going to click on the drop down for none, and I'm going to get on to background and pick background. And it creates this box around it, and it uses the background color on your screen for that item. So now, hit escape to get out of it. You can see that this is appearing over top of the red circle now, whereas before the red circle went right through it. Sometimes it doesn't always work, and you'll have to pick on it. Even though you have it with the background, you pick it and you right click and then draw order. You can send it to back or bring it to front. So in this case, it's currently brought to front. You'll see what happens when I pick send to back. The red line comes right back over it. Select, right click, draw order, bring to front. Boom. Over here with these two hitting each other, you probably just want to start doing some manipulating. So if I just select this, all my grips show up. I can highlight this grip by picking the pick button. I can drag that way. Now you see that one's kind of interfering with my 85. I hit escape to get out of it. I select this one, which highlights my grips. I grab that grip, I go that way, pick, and I've solved my problem there. Again, these are real minor things, just kind of showing you. When you have dimensions, you almost always want to have a space between the end of your dimension and whatever you're dimensioning. So in this case, this dimension, this 10-footer goes right into the whole rink here. So if I just pick this grip with my pick button, come on back out, and pick right on the end there, now I have a space between it so we can actually see where it's the delineation between the two. Same thing over here. I'm just going to pick off in space here, come across with a crossing. There is a little space there. The fillet kind of makes it hard to see. Something like that, I could either just increase it down a little bit, select the other one here, bring that down, or over here I could actually go down and there's a number here I can pick for extension line offset. So this is 1.5 inches right now. I could make this, I'll make it 5 inches so we can see what happens. You saw the offset went a little further. Exterior line extension is 1.5. That's the distance past this arrow. So if I go over that and make that 5 inches just so you can see it, it got longer. So basically this properties toolbar, when I pick an item, it allows me to change many of the items within it. If I pick on this circle here, over here it's going to tell me it has a radius of 15 and a diameter of 30. Let's say I wanted to make that 35 feet. I could actually just click on here with my pick button, highlight it, backspace 5, hit return, and it makes the circle bigger. You see I have my grips here. I could also grab this grip here and bring it in and make it smaller or larger manually. My center grip will allow me to move it. Okay, that's enough of that one. You see how the 30-foot has that nice space in between? So those are really perfect. Those are well done. Now, let's say I wanted to copy this whole detail onto another drawing. Using my crossing command, I pick up on the upper right, let go of the pick button, come on down, just pick everything. If I hit Control C, it'll copy that to my clipboard. I can click on here, wheelie mouse out, and hit Control V. Boom, I have it in both places now. But if I go back to this, let's say I want to know exactly how to bring this in, what spot I want to bring it in. And let's say it's this point right here where this line meets this line. So I just pick and select everything, and this time I hit Control Shift C at the same time. Down here it's asking me to specify a base point. So I'm going to wheelie mouse and I'm going to pick right at that intersection there. So now it's taken that entire thing and it's turned into one single object. So I click on another drawing here. I'll go to this hockey rink class review. If I hit Control V, which is just paste, it comes in as all these different items. If I do Control Shift V, you can see how it's coming in at the point where I selected. Now I can actually wheelie mouse in here and drop it right on top of this one here at that same exact location. So now I have an exact base point to bring that in. Again, Control Shift C copies with the base point, Control Shift V pastes with the base point. So this particular one, let's do a quick dimension. So up here are our linear dimensions. So if I just pick linear, and your screen is going to look a little bit different. I'm using AutoCAD 2015. This is what I use for work. Your 2017 will have a little bit different box here, but it's basically the same commands. I pick linear. I come over to here. I have my O snaps on endpoint. Whoop, try it again. Linear. From here to here. I come down, and it's 199 foot 10 and a half. So let's see if I missed a little bit there. Clearly I did. So if I select that grip turns blue. If I select this line, you can see my lines aren't matching up. I can grab this grip with my pick button, move it up to this grip, and it snaps right to it. 200 feet. So now I know I'm right on. One of the drawings, so this is another one that came in, and this has a white hatch on it, which is really cool. The effort that went into doing this is great. I'm going to erase it just so I can show you what's underneath it. You can see to make this all happen, the person used a couple different hatches and was able to do all the hatching so it looked white, just like a piece of ice, which is great. I'm just going to erase those just to get them out of my way. Now again, a lot of the dimensions here, we can use that same item where I select on it. I have my properties toolbar open. I come down to text. So when I want to scroll down this thing, I'll typically click on the darker areas, which gets me into it, and then I use my wheelie mouse. Fill color, drop down, background. You can also pick a color to have that. Let's do that. I'll just pick a color so you can see it. Instead of background, I'll pick cyan. That's terrible. Pick a different one. Magenta. Okay? And again, same type of thing. I can pick it, hit right click, draw order, bring to front. Now in this particular one we have notes and leaders. If I scroll on in, I saw something in there. This is an M leader, a multi-leader, okay? There's two types of leaders. There's a Q leader and there's a multi-leader. So if we go up to here, that's currently an M leader. And there are all these different options with the M leaders. This item here is an M leader and there's text associated with it. Right now, this text here is just separate single line text. If I was doing this quickly, I'm going to erase this. I'm actually going to move it out of my way just for now. If I type Q leader, and hit return, it's telling me to pick a place to start my leader. This is my goal crease. I'm going to wheelie mouse in, hover over it, pick that spot. As I bring my arrowhead up, you can see I'm in ortho mode, so I hit F8, which allows me to come over at an angle. I get right at the midspan, I pick again, and I hit F8 again to go horizontal. I pick, I hit escape, done. Now I have a leader. The size of this arrow, this Q leader arrow, matches up to the exact size of the leader sizes, or the arrow sizes that are in your dimensions. So the Q leader is controlled by the same sizing as this. If I click on this annotation tab right here and hit the drop down, these two options, my multi-leader style, and then this is my dimension style. Your Q leader is pulling its dimensions for its arrows from here. So if I click on this little box right here, my dim style manager pops open. I have a style called standard. If I want to modify it, I can go in. These are all the different items that you can change, and all those changes will be reflected right here. So for right now, we'll just look at arrows. The arrow size is 3 inches per this box right here. Then there's another box that says fit. In that fit there's an overall scale of 10. So what's happening is this overall scale is going to take every value that's listed in here and multiply it by 10. So the text here says it's 3 inches tall. If I go out of here, it should be 30 tall. So if I click on this here and I do a copy, drag it down, now I'm going to explode it. Erase these pieces. Whoop. And then I'm going to click on this one item. You see over here, it's 2 foot 6 inches tall, which is 30 inches. So that just proved that my 10-inch, my factor of 10 and my 3-inch tall units is giving me a 30-inch tall piece of text. The reason that in this M leader the text is showing up so small is the M leader is not controlled in the dimension style box. It's controlled in the M leader style box. So I come in here, the M leader style is called standard, and you can create as many different styles as you want. Pick modify. Under content it says text height. It's currently set to 3/16 of an inch. Now we know from our other dim style that this text height is really 30 inches or 30 units. So we're going to change that to 30 and hit OK and hit close. And look at just what happened. The goal crease got a lot larger. Okay? Still doesn't look right, so we're going to have to play with it a little bit. So there's definitely there's a scaling thing going on here. So let's change our arrow size as well. I'm going to change that to 30. I assume my arrow sizes are the same size. So M text is my multi-leader text. Right now, the leader location is going to the middle of the top line. Let's put that to the center, the middle of the text. And the landing gap, that's a really small value for what we're doing here, so we're going to call that 15 just to try. And we'll hit OK, and we'll see what happens. Okay, getting better. So now you see my arrowhead's the same size as here. I'm going to do a quick list on this item here. I don't think this is 30. In fact, it's not. It's 4 foot 9 1/8. So 4 foot is 48 inches and 9 inches. So it's like 57 inches in height. So let's do this. Again, I'm a big fan of doing this where I copy a dimension, use my copy command, pick a point, and just bring it over here. I explode it using my explode command. The explode command's right up here. You want to pick it off the toolbar. Up here there's a match properties bar, and again, some of these boxes have been moved around, but here's match properties. If I select this 30 foot and pick match properties and pick goal crease, that goal crease just changed in size to be 30 inches. So now my M leader is the same exact height as my text, which is the same exact height as my dimensions, which is ideal. All your text and dimensions should be the same size in general on a drawing, okay? Just gonna erase that. The other thing is, when you're doing drawings ultimately, and this was just an exercise type of thing, you're gonna wanna try to start to line stuff up. So anytime you're doing text, if you can get it to line up, you'll start to get vertical symmetry and things will start to look a little bit better. So again, that's kind of the next step in your drafting. You want to get stuff to look both same size, some nice orientation here, use space. The other big thing I just want to mention here is your left hand and getting it on the keyboard. Being able to type and use aliases is a huge way to increase your speed. So up here on the top there's this manage button and there's an edit alias button. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to edit aliases. This file has been around for decades with AutoCAD. If I just click on it and I scroll on down, over here on the left there are shortcut letters for every command. Now I've messed around with this quite a bit, so mine's going to be different than what you see on yours, but on most CAD systems, I believe C is copy. I draw a lot of circles, so I have C set to circle. I actually have changed and I've added Q way down the bottom here. Where is it? I thought I had it. I guess it's not in here. Okay. But this is where you can go in and you can text edit to make different aliases for AutoCAD. One thing you have to do when you're done though is you have to save your drawing, get out of AutoCAD, and reload it to get these settings to make changes. Because this file is loaded every time AutoCAD launches. So, just for instance, I have my hand on the keyboard. I hit L and the space bar, and line starts to pop up. As I go to the right and left, I'm in ortho mode, which is F8. If I hit F8 again, ortho goes off. Hit it again, it goes on. I'm going to draw a line, just go across, type 10, hit the space bar. So I'm going to go a little bit bigger. Line, 100, 200, 400, 100. Now I'm just going to do some random lines. Okay, I've got this weird shape and I want to dimension it. L space line. So a bunch of ways I can do that, but if I go up here to my linear dimensions, I can pick one point here with my pick button, and boom, I have a dimension. If I select that, these grips pop up and I can move stuff around just by grabbing it. But one of the things that's really cool, you click on this, if I hover over this grip, this box pops open. And one of the things it says is to continue the dimension. So I'm just going to hover over. As soon as that pops, just slide my mouse over, pick continue dimension. And then I just go over, whoops, didn't even, let me do that again. Pick, hover over, continue dimension, go to this intersection here. And it's going to continue, and I just keep wheelie mousing over, and it allows me to keep doing dimension after dimension from that. If I pick this here, I could just grab this grip and move it up. If I hover over this one, I have some options. I can move with the dimension line. I can move the text only. Let's try that. You see how it's off in space and it's not connected to this at all? Again, hover over it, move with leader. Now it has a little line that's attached to it. Hover over it again. above dimension line, puts it above. Well, let's say I decide I didn't want to do any of that. I hover over this, I can reset the text position, it goes back to the middle. Okay? Now, I'm going to erase all those real quick. And we're going to go up here to linear again. Actually, I'm going to pick annotate. There's a tab at the top here for annotate. Then there's continue. Whoop, it's not going to do what I want. There it is, quick. Hit the space bar. Bang. Again, one more time. I pick quick. I come in here with a crossing tool. I just pick up above, come over, select everything, hit the space bar, and I can go up to do horizontals, or I can go over to do verticals. Pick. Again, I'll erase them. So when I erase, I could do E space, pick above and cross like that. I can do E space, pick each one of them, which is a lot slower. E, crossing like that, picks them all. E space, I can do a fence, F space, pick a point, and anything I cross, I'm just clicking with my mouse, will highlight and delete. So again, some different things you can do with dimensions. I draw a line here at an angle. Under our linear dimension, there's a drop down below it for aligned. I pick this intersect here, end point here, go off to the side. Now a quicker way, you pick the align dimension. Now I just hit the space bar. I pick that same line, and now I only had to pick one button, one end, one piece of it, same dimension. Again, aligned, space, pick, boom. Align, space, pick, boom. Now if I get, once I do the command, if I just hit the space bar again, it goes right back into that same command. Now let's say I'm doing a lot of work here with my circles here, and I want to basically focus on the center of the circle only. If I type OSNAP or OS, my drafting settings box pops open, and I go to Object Snap. I'm going to pick Clear All, and just pick Center. And that's the only snap that'll work. Okay? So let's say I want to draw a line at the center of this red circle, L space. As soon as I get near the edge of that circle, you see the cross pop up in the middle, I can draw a line from the center. So as soon as I get close to that circle, cross pops up. You know I'm in the circle, in the center, boom. I want to do a dimension, linear dimension, from the center of that circle to the center of that circle, boom. So again, just a couple things you can do. So there was one person who had drawn this hockey rink, not in feet and inches, but just in units. So I'm going to copy this over here. I'll erase some of this extra stuff I threw in. Now, I'm going to use the scale command, which is up here, scale. I'm going to pick up above, come to the lower right, upper right to lower left, pick everything. It says specify base point. I'm going to pick that center point. Whoop. And my scale factor is going to be 1/12, 1/12. And what it did is it just shrunk everything by 1/12 to bring it down into inches, if you will. So this would be units. I'm just going to erase these dimensions so we can see here. So if you started your drawing and you're in units, not feet and inches, or architectural, this is what your drawing would look like. So if I did a horizontal dimension on it, whoop, I'm going hit OS again. I'm going to select all to bring all my snaps back on. Okay. Horizontal. Here to here. You can see it's only 16'8" now. I'm off by a factor of 12 because it's supposed to be 200. So again, scale, select all, pick a base point, center's a good enough place for it. The scale factor is going to be 12 because it's 12 inches in a foot. I do that and boom, my rink is 200 feet now. So again, that's a little trick. And that's all I'll cover for right now. Hope this helps. Thanks.